Seguimos en el Mobile World Congress 2013 con más entrevistas de vídeo. Nos visita Taylor de la empresa Telco Systems, con la que vamos a estar hablando un poco, como siempre, de qué es lo que está presentando la compañía aquí. También es una de las empresas que no habíamos entrevistado en nuestros anteriores años, así que para nosotros también es un poco descubrir quiénes son, qué hacen y qué podrían llegar a aportar o están aportando en América Latina. Taylor, welcome to Telco.com.
Thank you very much.
So I was telling our audience, as for us this year, we've been 7 years participating here. We're trying to discover new companies. Yours is one of them. So why don't you give us first a background on who you are, the company,
Sure.
and what you guys do?
Sure. So Telco Systems is an equipment manufacturer. We provide Ethernet and MPLS switches, particularly in this forum for mobile backhaul. Our latest product in the space is our 3312 SC device. It's a 1/2 RU device, temperature hardened, and it can do Ethernet over copper, Ethernet over fiber, as well as legacy services, T1s, E1s, for the mobile backhaul space.
Okay, so actually, now that you mentioned the IP MPLS or the MPLS solution, in Latin America there's a debate, kind of a religious debate between if operators should go to a layer 2 approach with carrier Ethernet or MPLS TP, or if they should use a layer 3 approach or 2.5 with IP MPLS from the core down to the edges. I don't know what your take on that at Telco.
Yeah, well, I actually came from a layer 2 company, layer 2 equipment manufacturer. And one of the things that we were studying when LTE started to come out was the X2 interface and the need to have communications between all of the adjacent towers, and the number of services you'd have to scale to in order to accommodate that interface. And what we found was that it would be very difficult to scale with a pure Ethernet solution. But with MPLS, I can now create paths from each tower to satisfy the X2 interface and handle those services in a much more manageable fashion.
So, there tends to be an argument that when we introduce the headnet approach or the many access points with small cells, then the network would get complicated, and perhaps MPLS would be a little more difficult to manage in terms of the network. I don't know if that's an argument that could be debated, and say,
So one of the things you have to do to help manage MPLS is to automate as much of the process as possible. One of the things we provide is a system management software called Edge Genie that allows you to actually automate some of that path construction and configuration of the devices.
Okay. What are the OAM tools?
Yes. So we've got a full set of the OAM tools. So we have CFM, we have 1731, 2544, etc.
So it would be, as robust as running
absolutely
any other technology that uses these tools?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got the full set.
Okay.
We also have a reporting mechanism back out through the management system.
Okay. Tell us what you are seeing here in terms of backhauling for the operators. What is your advice to them? I mean, what are you trying to tell them when they come to you? Because we're seeing figures from Ericsson discussing, the growth of video in the future, and it seems there's going to be this huge crisis on the backhauling because of this traffic. But it seems operators are able to.
So I think there are a number of things that operators need to look out for. Certainly the rising demand in traffic is necessary. For now they're installing 1 gig Ethernet or MPLS to the tower.
But that's in the US, or
that's in the US and Europe, but where LTE is being deployed.
Okay.
But that traffic is going to grow, obviously as new technologies come out. But also you're going to need to be able to supply obviously greater than a gigabit Ethernet connection as that grows, and especially if you have towers with multiple operators on them and you're a wholesale provider providing a backhaul service. Now you're not only looking at expanded bandwidth, but you're also looking at port density.
Okay.
One of the products we supply is a demarc device with a full 12 gigabit per second throughput. It has 8 fiber ports, 8 copper ports, and 6 legacy ports for carrying E1s or T1s over serial wire.
Okay.
So we not only have the full bandwidth available, but we have a nice port density as well as selection of technologies that can be supported.
Interesting. Are you showing this here at the show?
We are. We're showing that along with some of our aggregation devices as well. We have several intermediate aggregation devices for the intermediate aggregation on the rings in the backhaul network. And then we have a much larger aggregator at the head end.
What would be the recommendation for operators as they build their access points and their networks to reduce some of the boxes they need to put, let's say, in their backhaul network. Is there any way they can, routers and these things that, are costly and they're hard to maintain?
Yeah, so a lot of times I would say there are two things you're looking at. One is whether you're looking at a router functionality or not at the tower, and as well as which services you need to provide to the base station. So you may have a tower with multiple base stations, including legacy.
Okay.
A lot of people will come to you with a full routed solution, full 1RU box. And on the other side of the coin, people deliver you an Ethernet box, but then you need a second box to carry pseudo wires.
So it's adding complexity.
It's adding complexity. It's adding additional boxes, taking up power, taking up space in huts that are already very full. So one of the things to look for, and one of the things we provide, is a half RU box. Integrated with all of those different technologies as I spoke about, so you can do any service that the base station needs and put it all on a one half RU box.
Okay, so that type of integration, you are the only one providing that, or you're seeing that being a trend?
Right now, a half RU with 12 gigabits per second throughput, and half RU is unique to our company, yes. But especially with MPLS to the edge.
But you're seeing a trend in terms of integrating this type of functionalities into just one box?
One place, yeah, certainly we want to aggregate that in one box. The other interesting part we're seeing is now integration with some of the radio systems as well. So where you have microwave backhaul, to have at least some type of interoperability with the Ethernet switch and some testing there, and or even embedded cards with the radios to do the Ethernet switching.
Okay, and let me ask you the final question, which probably is going to be really silly, but I'm going to try. You're talking about virtualization quite a bit here. Is there any portions of the backhaul network that can be virtualized?
Certainly. I mean, as you look towards virtualized network or software-defined networks, we're actually well positioned for that, because what you're trying to do is remote the control plane from the network to a centralized point.
Yeah.
The nice thing about our solution to date is we already have MPLS with a well-defined control plane. We already have a remote management system with its own path computation engine. So now it's just a matter of being able to move the control plane over to the operating system, to the service management system.
Okay.
And that will allow us to migrate very quickly to a software-defined network, and the ability to do things like respond to self-optimizing networks in an automated fashion.
Okay, so now there's going to be quite of things going on with the backhauling.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Good luck with the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.